Hello, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little bit, the holidays and everything that just passed. Today is January 2nd, 2026. So happy New Year to everybody. This is what I'm working on today. So you saw my last video. I bought this from a neighboring property owner, and it was broken when I bought it. Got a good price on it, fixed it, and I spent some time out here working with it. As you can see, I'm basically clearing all the brush along the side of my driveway here. It looks a lot like this, a little thicker back there, actually, a little bit bigger stuff. But I'm working on clearing all the way up to my power pole there. I've got extension cords running all the way back to my bus, and so my plan is to trench right along here and put in conduit in the ground and run electric over to the bus. So I started working with this thing. If you saw the last video, you know that I was having problems with this castle nut not staying on. The threads were kind of stripped out, and so I welded that castle nut on, and it worked great. I was using it for several hours trying to get the hang of it. I'd never used any equipment before, so it took me a little time to get used to the controls, and I still wasn't good at it. I only have probably 3.5–4 hours on it total, and I was trying to push some of this dirt back up this way, and I accidentally dug the blade in to the ground too deep, and when I did, it threw the track, and I immediately shut it down, got off of it out of, instinct, and then realized that I needed to start it back up so that I could swing the boom around here and push it into the ground and lift this side up so I could put the track back on. So I went to start it back, and when I did, nothing's happening. Show you, put the key in, and oh, now I'm getting nothing. Before I was at least getting an hour meter. Hopefully I didn't leave it. You know what? I think I left the switch on. I'll probably drain that battery. It's not one thing, it's another. Anyway, what it was doing was I was turning the key, and the hour meter was coming on, and the voltmeter was coming on, showing that I had voltage. But when I actually went to try to start it, it wouldn't do anything. And so I don't know if something vibrated loose, some wire, while I was using it. But as you can see, here's the switch comes down. I checked this fuse. This fuse is good. And then it goes down here to, I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. But down in here, there's goes to the starter. So I don't know if something's come loose down there, a wire, or if the starter's gone out, or if the starter solenoid's bad. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull this front cover off. It's 6 bolts, so I can get access to that and see if anything's loose. It's causing it not to start. See if I can get to the battery and make sure the battery cables have good connection. The other option is pull this back panel off so that I can get to the pull start that's right here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a pull start, but there's no room to pull it. So if I take this back panel off, I should be able to try to pull start it. see if I can get it started that way. Once I get this panel off, I'm going to do some modifications to the back of it. Right now, in order to get this panel off, as you can see, it runs behind the counterweight here, and up at the top it's underneath this plate right here, and that's underneath the roll bar. So you can't just lift this up and out. You have to pull this off to be able to lift it up from behind the counterweight to get it off. It's bolted on here, and then I think there's one down here on the inside. I'm not sure, I'll have to check. And then here. So my plan is I'm gonna mark it right along here. I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna have to undo the roll bars here, undo this plate to get the back panel off. Once I get it off, I'm gonna cut it right above here, and then I ordered some hinges that are supposed to come in tomorrow that I'm gonna put on here and here, and then a couple of latches here and here, so that in the future, if I need to take it off, I just unlatch it and swing it open. And then the hinges that I ordered are actually kind of like the ones on a Jeep, where once you open it, you can lift it up, and so the hinges are actually two separate pieces with the shaft of the hinge points down on both of these, and so you swing it open and then just lift it up and out of the hinges, so I can take this completely off like that if I need to in the future, which will be good because down in there somewhere is the oil, where you check the oil and put fresh oil in. So to get to that, you have to take this piece off. So there's not a whole lot of room to get to stuff without taking stuff off. So that's my goal for today, is see if I can get it running. If I can get it running, I'm gonna move it back over there closer to the bus inside my fence, so I don't have to drag my tools all the way out here to come and work on it. And then once I get those hinges and stuff in tomorrow, I'll do the modification to the back and go from there. Looks like I'm gonna have to probably get my jump box off and try to jump start it if the pull start doesn't work. I'm not even sure if the pull start will work with no battery. And I guess I left the switch on over here and probably drained the battery, so now I'm probably going to need a new battery for it. But if I can get it running, get the boom over here, get the track back on, I'll drive it back over there closer to my shed and my tools and everything, and be able to work on it a little easier. But that's what I'm up to today. If that's something you're interested in seeing, me fiddling with this thing, stick around and we'll get started. All right, so I made myself some room up here. I don't see anything that looks loose or that might have, you know, wires that might have wiggled loose. So I'm wondering if it maybe, I think this is a voltage regulator or something in here. It's gonna have to take some testing to figure out what's causing it to not want to start. So I'm going to go ahead and take this back panel off and see if I can pull start it. See if I can get you in here where you can see. I don't know if you can see this. There's a bolt here. I just took one out there and there's one up there behind, and the same thing on the other side. So I got to take those 6 off in order to get this back panel off. Oh, that was dumb. I set that in the seat and then lifted the seat up. As you can see, with these panels removed and the roll bars removed, now there's nothing on top of this. So I should be able to, once I get those bolts removed, just lift it out from behind here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark it. But once I get it off, I want to make sure that my mark is above this bolt hole right here. So wherever I cut it off, I want to be above this bolt and above this line. Because the piece that I cut off the bottom, I want to make sure I can bolt it back in here with a bolt on each side to provide support, and then have my line somewhere up here that I cut off, and then I'll be able to hinge it here and here and not have these 2 bolts bolted. And then on this side I'll have, again, the bottom one with the piece that I cut off, and then I won't have these 2, and I'll have latch. So that's the plan. I'll go ahead and mark it. So as long as I'm above that line when I cut it off, it'll be behind this, so I can be able to just swing it open. Yep. Alright, so this bottom lip was catching under the bottom of the motor there. Didn't want to come out. Luckily, it's not as thick on the sides over here, so I was able to spin it around past this and be able to work it out. And as you can see, I think the bolt hole is right in line with that line. So I'm going to come up probably about an inch when I get ready to cut it off. Come up about an inch all the way around. And then I'll take the bottom piece and bolt it back on. Give it some support at the bottom down here. And then, like I said, the top will be latched on. But now that I got this off, I can get to that pull start. And see if I can't get it to run. Before I do that though, I'm gonna put this bar back in and these top plates. Alright, so I'm not going to put the roll bars back on right now until I have it running and fixed. But I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of these in just so this plate is connected to both. Alright, and last thing, I'm going to go ahead and put this bar back in. I want this thing to have as much structural support as I can before I try to start it and run it. Why didn't y'all tell me I was putting that in upside down? So as you saw, it runs. Get a better view here now of the pull start. I started up, let it run for a little while I put the track back on, and couldn't figure out why it was smoking so much. And I realized I never turned the choke off. As soon as I turned the choke off and cranked up the throttle a little bit, it stopped smoking and ran great. So wasn't really paying attention. So, but it runs, the track's back on. I'm gonna go ahead and put all these panels and everything back on for now, except for that back one, so I can use it some, get it back over there by my bus, and then I'll see if I can't figure out what's wrong with the electrical, why it won't start with the key. But at least I know it runs, at least I know I can use it. It's been sitting out here for about 3 weeks, so I'm probably going to go ahead and check the oil, all the fluids, top everything off, make sure everything looks good before I start doing any work with it. there it is. Back over here a little closer to the bus, closer to my shed where all my tools are, where I'll be able to get out here a little easier and work on it. It seems to be running pretty good. I still want to check the oil and hydraulic fluid, make sure that it's got plenty of oil and everything after sitting for so long. I don't see any signs of any leaking or anything, so that's good. But I got it over here, got it running for the time being. Whenever I want to use it, I'm just going to pull start it. Eventually I'll start messing with the electrical and see if I can't figure out why it won't start with the key, which is weird, because I mean the key turns it off and it won't start with a pull start unless the key's on. So something between the key and the starter, or the starter itself, or whatever's not working. But I ought to be able to use it like it is and finish clearing along my driveway and be able to, like I said, I'm going to do conduit along the side, probably to right in here somewhere, and then I'm going to have one run that goes this way right down probably the outside of the fence. I'll clear some of this out, need to do it anyway, but probably the conduit down the outside of the fence, and then right about where my water tower is, I've got a 50 amp RV hookup pedestal that I'm going to put over there and then be able to plug the bus in. I've got a second one that I want to put out here somewhere right over there. So friends, family, anybody that has a camper that wants to come down and spend a little time here will be able to back their camper in and just hook up to the other power that'll be right there, and then I'll be able to use it for other things if I need to run an extension cord or something or whatever. But that's my main focus, is getting that done so that I can get rid of these little extension cords and I'll have full power to my bus. I've got a full-size refrigerator that I want to bring and put in the bus, and a little chest freezer that I want to be able to put in there, and right now I just don't have enough power going to the bus on these extension cords to be able to run it. So as soon as I get the power done, be able to get that refrigerator and chest freezer, and then also have a bigger window unit AC, help keep the bus a little cooler in the summer, in spring and summer. And once I get that done, then I'm going to start clearing out some of this underbrush and the small stuff, just a little bit at a time, working my way that way. Small stuff like this here, I can just dig up with the excavator, all this little stuff, and just knock it over and get me a clearing that way a little bit. I've got, if you see, there's kind of a clearing right here between these two rows of trees. This was all managed timber, so they planted the trees all in a row last time they clear cut it. So I've got a pretty big opening right here. So I think what I want to do is work my way that way, get that all knocked down and dug up, and then dig me a small pit to be able to just push all this stuff that I cut down into the pit and burn it. But that'll be a little ways away. But my goal is to leave all the big trees and just get rid of everything underneath. And of course, it'll probably take me years to do it all, especially if all I have is this little thing to use. Eventually, I'd like to get a tractor. Tractor with a box blade and a bucket on the front. Be able to kind of use the box blade to level some of this out a little better, but that may be a while, if ever. So But that's where I'm at right now. I know it's been a little while, like I said, since I posted a video, and I'm gonna start trying to do videos a little more often. It's just hard this time of year. By the time I get off work during the week, it's already dark, so I can't do anything except for on the weekends. And seems like I travel so much on the weekends that hardly ever here. So, but I'm gonna do what I can to try to get videos out more often, at least once a week or once every couple of weeks at the absolute worst. So if you like what I'm doing out here and you want to follow the progress, go ahead and hit subscribe. Help me out, hit that like button, share it, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, how I'm doing. We'll try to be nice. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching.